Greetings, friends. Welcome back to Book Club. As part of the book club, we are looking at Buffett's Buffet, the secret recipe of profitable investing. This is from the book Seven Secrets to Investing Like Buffett by Mary Buffett and Sean Shah. Till now, what we have seen is the context setting for Seven Secrets to Investing, and we have looked at power of habits. And we also have seen the spending, what you are spending in our old episodes. This is our second episode. And the third episode, we discussed about find a job you love or find love in your job. And we have done this exercise of the passion test. And we have also seen in the last episode, which is episode 4, avoid debt, how to avoid debt. And today we are going to discuss about the risk management. So the people who are from life insurance industry and the people from BFSI segment. So these BFSI segment, risk management is very important. The way Warren is looking at it and how we should be, taking it forward. This is the basis of our, any financial planning. So we'll have very interesting things in this. So let me just take you through this. So risk management, this is the chapter 5. How it goes is Warren frequently quotes his 2 investment rules. Rule number 1 is never to lose money. And rule number 2 is to never forget rule number 1. People who try to become wealthy and fail generally fall into 2 categories. First, there are people who take a huge risk in an attempt to get rich quick. Very important point. Leap before looking and end up crashing at the bottom of the cliff. Alternatively, there are people who become paralyzed by the fear and don't dare to take any risk. There are people who take the leap without any fear, and there are people who are getting paralyzed because of fear. So our purpose is to manage both and strike the balance. And that's where the risk management comes. These people who paralyze, they keep their money in the bank or under their mattresses and let inflation slowly erode their wealth. Very important point for us to look at this. When we are speaking to our customers, either they belong to take the leap, and every time they keep saying that, I believe in real estate, I believe in equities, I believe in direct shares, I believe in venture capital, which is good. But at the same time, are they belong to the first category? The first category of the people, which it clearly says, they just take the leap and end up at the bottom of the cliff because they don't do their risk management correctly. And second type of people, of course, there are some customers whom we meet where they keep saying, they keep talking about, I'll keep it in the bank, I'll keep it in my cell, at my locker, the money will be doing everything. Where they are getting paralyzed because of the fear. Wealthy people are open to investments that can help grow their wealth. They identify risks and mitigate them to the lowest degree possible. In this chapter, we will learn 2 risk management actions we can take instantly. The first one, risk management action 1. We need to have emergency fund. The author says, recently one of my friends shared on her Facebook page that her heating system was broken and she needed 8,000 rupees to repair it. However, she did not have the money. As we mentioned earlier, not having money for such unforeseen circumstances is dangerous, since we may need to borrow in times of crisis. On January 6, 2016, Forbes released an article with research from bankrate.com that 63% of Americans don't have enough savings to cover $500 emergency. It is very funny. Whereas the Indian type of this one, we generally saying that keep some money for emergency. Of course, saving is part of our habit. That is the reason why most of our, the middle class households, they save it in FDs, RDs, The first thing, I mean, they land up in the job, they do start saving it. Only problem with Indians also is they will have unified savings for multiple needs. In the previous one, we have discussed about enveloping system. Even in savings for emergency fund, we can have the envelopes. What kind of emergencies may come and what kind of envelopes we always need to keep. Come what may, we will not be touching that emergency fund. We will not be touching that envelope. So the moment you cover your emergency funds, the rest of the things you will be able to save, or you can start investing. Here are important principles about emergency fund. Very important. It is not an investment fund. Emergency fund is not investment fund. Certain situations where we may get into or put hand into emergency fund, that should be for the emergency only. That should not be for any kind of investment. This fund is not an investment fund. Its existence is not positioned on its continuing to grow. Instead, it is meant to be used if you meet an unforeseen financial crisis. The envelopes what you can make in savings account, in fixed deposits, in RDs, depending on when you may get such kind of emergency, and accordingly you are supposed to take it up. It must be accessible. The first one is it's not an investment fund. We should remember that. And the second one is it must be accessible. It should not be kept in some place where it makes us too difficult to access it and use that money. It must be accessible. It should be in savings account, or it should be in FD where we'll go today and we'll immediately take that money and use it. The emergency fund should easily be retrievable. For instance, do not put it in real estate, as this is going to take few months before you can access the money by selling the given property. Okay. It should be kept out of sight. Very important. It should be kept out of sight, but not out of reach. While this emergency fund is accessible, keep it out of sight. It should not be conveniently placed beside your door. If not, you may be tempted to use it to pay your pizza when the delivery man arrives. My suggestion is to keep it in a separate bank account. Okay. And we, the people in financial planning industry, we should be practicing first before we could, preach it. So my humble request is this, you please start doing it so that you will be able to, passionately propagate the same. We go to the next one. Sean's lesson on emergency funds. In January 2009, Sean was shopping with his wife 2 days before the Chinese New Year. Sean's wife is, Chinese. She was pregnant with their second son and her due date was 2 months away. Suddenly, Sean's wife stopped in her tracks and said, I think we have to go to the doctor right away. They rushed to Thompson Medical Center. The next day, their second son was born prematurely. Sean's wife needed specialized care and had to stay in the hospital longer than originally planned. And as a result, Sean was faced with a huge hospital bill. At that point in time, he did not have the cash to pay the staggering bill. He was expecting the baby to be delivered 2 months later and had planned his finances based on that timeline. Most of his cash was tied up with the investments. He had almost no liquid cash left to pay the bills. In the end, he called his very good friend Daniel for help. Fortunately, Daniel lent him a 5-figure sum without any hesitation. Since that day, Sean has made sure his family has at least 6 months worth living expenses in their emergency fund. This is the thumb rule, friends. Every time what we say is you need to have emergency for 6 months of your household expenses, including education, medical, and everything. Hope you have already done your advanced financial planning course with us. We have already discussed about emergency fund and its calculation. If not, my humble request to you is please touch base with your respective trainers or RTMs or me, so that we take you through that particular financial planning session one more time. And especially when you are going to high net worth individuals, this really works. The customers whom I met, they were also not able to have 6 months, monthly expenses. HNI also has got monthly expenses to their tune. They may not be having the similar kind of household expenses what we have. Their household expenses are totally different. Very important part. Second part. After emergency fund, 6 months of emergency fund, we need to have ample insurance. So what is this ample insurance? Unless you fall into the ultra-rich category, you need to make sure you have insurance. Frankly speaking, even if it is ultra-rich, I still remember the basics of insurance. Someone will be paying for insurance. Either I pay for myself entire thing, or I take insurance policy so that my risk is shared with other people who are having the similar kind of risk profiling. Insurance is a huge topic, and it is impossible to cover everything here, rightly so. That is why Sean and I advise to enlist the services of a trusted financial advisor to review your needs. So even the book authors suggest to have financial advisor, and we are the financial advisors, and we are from the industry. In this section, I will cover the most important aspects of insurance that you should know, which are very basics. Sometimes sales pitches do not need to be out of the world. It has to be grounded to the earth so that we sound so simple, and our word or our sales pitch is taken in full seriousness, and customer will be acting on it. So how this ample insurance is required? We'll go one by one. The first question is what to insure. Our opinion is that at the very least, you need insurance to help you manage these two situations. In our day-to-day basics of insurance, we keep talking about it. And the first one is loss of income. And the second one is incurring medical expenses. These are the two things we need to immediately have. Let us discuss about loss of income. It is important to make sure that all income earners of the family, and especially people who are the sole breadwinner of the family, have adequate insurance coverage. That's where human life value comes into picture, HLV comes into picture. We keep talking about. If you should lose the ability to generate income, the money provided by insurance will help you through the most difficult times. Although you may think that you are always lucky, life is unpredictable. One major illness that we have seen it in COVID times, injury or accident can, casely lead to disability or death. Thus, it is better to be safe than sorry. An insurance policy is your safety. Ask your financial planner if your coverage ensures that either the victim of an accident or the beneficiary of the policy will receive enough cash to tide them over a reasonable period of time should the unfortunate happen. If any unfortunate event happens, it should be taken care. Loss of income should be taken care. A good rule of thumb is to have an accident plan and a disability plan, both with coverage of 10 years worth of living expenses. Of course, along with the life insurance. Let's take Jake as an example. If Jake's yearly expenses are $60,000, it would be good for him to take coverage of $6 lakh. In other words, if he loses his ability to make a living, his insurance plan should give him or his beneficiary $6 lakh. The same thing when in HLV we keep talking about. If you are retiring at 60 and if your age is 40, if your annual income is, say for instance, 10 lakhs, 10 lakhs into 20, which is 2 crore, 2 crore rupees should be the insurance policy. 2 crore rupees of life insurance, which is unfortunate event of death. And the second one is accidental survival. So the disability insurance. And also if any illness happens and we are continuing with the illness, that's where most of the life insurance companies have started health plans. Health plan is different from Mediclaim. Mediclaim takes care of only expenses of hospital. Whereas here in health plan, which life insurance companies give, is about the loss of income. Okay. And moving to the next one, incurring medical expenses, taking care of medical expenses, having sufficient Mediclaim. If you don't have adequate insurance, medical expenses should wipe out everything that you have accumulated. One might need to sell off investments and businesses, or even take loans to pay for the medical bills. Such cases of unforeseen medical bills can even throw someone who is financially independent into sudden debt. That we have seen it several times in our family members or friends also. Our world is one in which people live much longer lives, but also a world in which illness and disease afflict the young as well as the old. Getting illness, falling sick is not only for old people, it is also for the young people. Accidents are very common even for the youngest people, also the oldest people. That is why we need to continuously review and update our insurance plans to cover as many possible scenarios as possible. It is not only life insurance alone, but also about disability insurance, but also about health insurance for the loss of income, and medical expenses of various illnesses, or Mediclaim, which covers all possible diseases. Okay. Ask your financial advisor if you are adequately covered should you be involved in an accident or contract major illness. Also note that these plans are not limited to breadwinners only. Incurring medical expenses for everyone. There is an activity at the end of this. Everyone in the family should be insured. How it should be insured? Please do this for yourself. What to cover? Loss of income, medical expense. Now, in that what to cover, we will be covering loss of income and medical expenses. If these two things are this one, who to cover? Loss of income. I am also earning, for example, my wife is also earning. Even my elder son is also, doing the job. For example, my elder son is not that old. Just as an example. Then loss of income is there for me, for my wife and my son. If it is a family-run business, everyone are involved, everyone are earning, then who to cover? All the people should be covered. Separate, proposal, and they should be covered. Same thing, medical expense. This medical expense has nothing to do with the loss of income. Here in this case, anyone can fall. So all the family members should be coming here. How much to cover? You please go through that. What kind of risks? Say for instance, how much to cover for the loss of income? Just now I told you, if you are retiring at the age of 60 and if your age is 40, then whatever is your current income right now, it's a thumb rule, okay? So if 10 lakhs is your annual income, 20 years to cover, 20 into 10 lakhs is 2 crores. You do the similar kind of exercise, whoever are earning members in your family. And how much to cover is this? And at the same time, medical expenses. Medical expenses, I have 2 old people in my family, mother and father, example. So mother is having certain kind of osteoporosis or, arthritis or something. What kind of expense I may incur? Father is having some kind of heart problem or something else. So how we are supposed to cover that? They may be having a different kind of illnesses, which medical expenses are regular or sudden. Same thing with children. When children are there, they may be prone to certain kind of illnesses, and there may be estimation of the cost for that. And at the same time, because they keep playing, and one is falling sick, but also getting hurt when they are playing or whatever it is. Or if they are youth, if they are riding the bike, that. As we have seen it in the earlier statement, cover all possible scenarios and prepare for it. And when to cover? By when you need it, number one, or how many years you need it. These are also the thing. Please write these 2 also. For the financial planning, there is one of the important things which you need to do. After doing it, see for yourself wherever is the gap. As a financial planner yourself, as a prudent financial planner yourself, do it for yourself first. and then please suggest your customers. This for today, friends. Thank you so much. And in the next episode, another interesting topic, which we'll be talking about taking care of your wealth. There are two parts to the illness. One is being ready when the expenses come, and the second one is prevention. Okay. One is cure. The previous one, what we have talked about, getting prepared for the cure. And the next one is how to prevent certain kind of thing. Lifestyle, how to avoid such kind of lifestyle diseases. Okay. Very important thing. When we are going to this, we will also see how we are supposed to take care of your health so that you will be having the prevention. When you do the prevention, you will have more money in your hand to invest. Okay. Next time, we will be talking about taking care of your health also and how to save money from there so that you will be able to invest. Okay, friends. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. See you next time.